We have been working on understanding some of these instruments that are played up here because they're an important part of our history. And it's interesting to know how they got here and why they're part of the bands that play. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the mandolin, and it's a relative of an instrument you're going to hear tonight. They're tuned the same way. And then last week, we were talking about the dobro. Now, tonight, do you happen to know the difference between a violin and a fiddle? Huh? Yeah, that's the way it's played. You're right. No, it's not quite right. The violin has strings, you know. Well, a fiddle has strings. Yeah. Right. So, oh well. Okay. Well, tonight you're going to get to hear the violin some, I'm sure, along with the guitar that Heather's going to play, as Vicki plays the violin as a fiddle tonight. You're just right, the way it's played. It's different. The hard-driving fiddle style doesn't normally play things like legatos or vibrato like the violin, these smooth, beautiful things, though it can, and maybe occasionally it'll throw something in, sentimental or slower, whatever. But generally speaking, it's a different sound. You'll hear that tonight. Vicki says that the violin is the queen of the instruments, stringed instruments, and it is indeed the lead instrument in an orchestra. The first violinist, if you've been to one of those concerts, you've seen her play her instrument to tune the rest of the instruments there. They go by her, what's the tune she sets. And then the conductor comes out and he kind of recognizes her and everything. She's kind of the lead because she's got the violin, that important instrument. And she sits in the first chair next to the conductor. And if he gets accolades afterward, and he's going to recognize different members of the orchestra, but she'll stand there with him first to be recognized because she's the violinist, you know. She's the queen, right? The instruments that led to the violin are quite interesting. They date back before the time of Christ to the little island of Sri Lanka, which is down to the very southern tip of the country of India. One ancestor of the violin is the rebab, which is an Arab instrument that was used in traditional Bedouin music since the 6th century in the Middle East. The first violins as we know them today emerged in northern Italy in the early 1500s. Famed for their fine craftsmen, the cities of Cremona and Brescia were the likely birthplaces of the violin. During the 1500s, the violin quickly became popular throughout Europe with street musicians and nobles as well. The French king, Charles IX, a great lover of music, commissioned many beautiful violins and other stringed instruments during his reign. While we'll never know the name of the violin's inventor, one man does stand above the rest in his violin making, and that is Andrea Amati, a craftsman from Cremona, who achieved renown in his lifetime for his fine violins. Another famous luthier, craftsman who works or builds, designs violins and makes them, is Antonio Stradivari, who created beautiful instruments that are still classical treasures today if you can find one. The violin has become an integral part of orchestras and chamber ensembles during the 18th and 19th centuries. Musical maestros like Vivaldi and Mozart and Bach showcase the violin in their compositions. Now, the Scotch-Irish that we're interested in, because that's a lot of us have our roots there and in Appalachia here. In the 17th century, those Scots-Irish immigrants from Ulster, those areas, crossed the ocean, followed the valleys down from Pennsylvania, a lot of times down into our area here, and brought the fiddle with them. It was a violin, but they played it like the fiddle, of course. They greatly valued their fiddles, obviously. They played reels and jigs and waltzes and breakdowns to bring comfort and entertainment on that long journey across the ocean. Now, breakdown is an old-time and bluegrass fiddling in a wide range of up-tempo 2/4 or 4/4 time. Will we hear some of that tonight, maybe? Yeah, maybe. It's played for fast dancing, Now, if you want to get up and dance, such as clogging and flat footing, and it usually includes bowing two strings simultaneously. And we'll watch that, see if she does that tonight, okay? All right, once we finish our new Opry building, if you'll help us do that, we'll have probably space up front so you can do that clogging and flat foot dancing.